My father was falsely accused of cheating on the imperial exam. I went to beg Lin Shaobai for help 13 times. The first time, his childhood sweetheart was arguing with her husband. He went to bring her to the capital. He went to pack her luggage. So meticulous, nothing like his usual careless self. The second time, his childhood sweetheart couldn't adjust to the climate. He was busy finding an imperial physician and brewing medicine. He didn't have time to even hear me finish a single sentence.
I already said I'm not seeing anyone. Let's go. Can't you see I'm busy? No visitors.
Later, my father was sentenced to exile in Meizhou. Departure set for 3 days from now. Lin Shaobai finally agreed to see me.
Hey. There is no way to overturn your father's case. Dwelling on it is pointless. The only one I truly worry about is Wan Niang. She is new to the capital. Spend more time talking with her.
No. Let's divorce. Huh.
Mingshu, are you testing me? Your father's troubles. No one wanted this, but I haven't kicked you while you're down. And I won't divorce you.
He knew everything. The false accusations from a failed exam candidate. He knew about my 13 pleas for help. He just didn't care.
It is because Wan Niang's father passed away. And she married the wrong man. I owe her father a debt of gratitude for raising me. I can't just ignore her. This is the only thing I ask of you.
With my father facing exile, I'm in no mood.
When the time comes, I'll go with you to see your father off. It is just an exile. So many in officialdom rise and fall. There may be a chance for reinstatement in the future. Don't worry.
It is merely a demotion. That is Meizhou. That is a miasma-plagued land. That is a death sentence.
Hey. I'll go check on Wan Niang.
Thankfully, between him and me, there will be no more ladder.
This box of golden thread Nanmu ornaments. Absolute sale. That set of kingfisher feather hair ornaments. Pawn with redemption. When I have money in the future, I'll redeem them.
Hey, madam, these bolts of cloud pattern brocade are of fine quality. They can fetch 200 taels of silver.
All in loose silver and banknotes. It is also for father's needs in prison. Be quick. Busy arranging for father is true. And the divorce is also true. The journey is long and far. This is all money for father's life. Sister, this is Songjiang style crispy candy. Hey. Brother Shaobai loves this the most. I made it myself. Sister, please try some too. I don't care for sweets. You should go home. Brother Shaobai said, if you're feeling bored, I can come talk to you, sister. Sister, do you not like me? Yes. Father once said, if Lin Shaobai treated me badly, I should smash him with the coral tree. Words have proven prophetic. Now, it is father's life-saving tree. Pawn it for 3,000 taels. Enough for father to settle safely in Meizhou. Wow. Sister, this is really beautiful. Where are you moving to? Let me help you. No need. Don't touch that. It is over. 3,000 taels. Father's life. Sister, I have no brains. Are you deaf as well? Brother Shaobai. I didn't know. I only wanted to help you, elder sister.
It is merely a coral tree. If it is broken, so be it. She comes from humble origins. If she doesn't know the rules, you can teach her. How can you immediately threaten violence? You're even insulting our suffering father-in-law, insulting the entire Yan family. Is this the upbringing of the Yan household?
Now you've come to your senses. You must not touch others' belongings without permission. When do I need to teach such basic manners? Brother Shaobai, it is all my fault. Please don't argue with elder sister because of me.
Mingshu, Wan Niang acted without thinking. I apologize on her behalf.
Apologize. A worthless trinket. What would I do with this? 3,000 taels. Ah! Lin Shaobai. I expect to see this money tonight. Otherwise, I will find a way to deal with her. I will find a way to deal with her.
Yes.
$3,000 taels. Exactly the amount. He is an honest remonstrance official. His annual salary is barely 100 taels. In just half a day, for Wan Niang's sake, he actually managed to scrape together the full 3,000 taels. Now that the money's settled, you can get lost.
My lady, the master has official business to attend to. He is not to be disturbed.
So, this is his official business. Take this inside. Have Lin Shaobai sign it. Then I can have the coral tree delivered.
My lord, a receipt from the lady. She insists you sign it before she'll relent.
Give it here.
Free at last. Free at last. They say a painter's brush is a lover's eye. I was thinking of the dream lover of every noble maiden, finally becoming her husband, a life of wedded harmony thereafter.
Doesn't my lady adore these paintings most of all?
Time to wake from the dream. This place will soon have a new mistress. Don't let this junk offend her eyes.
Ah. Quickly put out the fire.
No need.
Why?
I don't like them anymore.
If you don't like them, so be it. I'll paint you new ones another day. But Mingshu, Wan Niang has only just arrived in the capital. She lacks proper attire and jewelry. For tomorrow's flower viewing banquet, spare a couple of items for her, won't you? Humph, you have so many already, anyway. A few less won't matter.
On what grounds? On what grounds? She and I are not bosom friends. We share no bond of affection. Why should I give her my things? You cannot.
Because Wan Niang fancies them. Do you even know? If it weren't for you, she would have been.
If it weren't for me, she would be the radiant Madame Lin. Not the dependent Miss Wan living under someone else's roof. Take them. Ah.
All of these were gifts from me to her. Happy New Year. This is New Year's money for you, madam. Ah. All of these, I gave them all to her.
What everyone saw as a match made in heaven was nothing but Lin Shaobai's silent endurance.
Ah. How did he find a mate?
His joy needs no brow to show.
His joy needs no brow to show. That is because he hates me. He hates me for occupying the position of his wife, keeping him from marrying Wan Niang.
It is ruined. What a shame.
The wife in the paintings, from start to finish, was never me. It was always her.
Sign it. Otherwise, I will make sure you rot in prison.
I beg an audience with Vice Minister Lin. I want to see my father. He is the Vice Minister of Justice, with just a single word. He could use his official authority to grant Wanner a divorce, yet he won't even allow me to see my father.
Madam, Wan Niang has been vomiting and has diarrhea. The master is keeping vigil at her sict. He said he cannot get away and will come find you when he is free.
A courtyard of 3 sections deep, just a few hundred steps. How is it that he can never manage to reach the end? It is simply because he has never once thought of walking to my side. Mingshu. Very well then. I shall go myself.
Madam, look, His Excellency prepared this especially for you. The finest Suzhou embroidery. This shade complements your complexion perfectly.
Compliments my complexion. He merely fears Wanner will draw everyone's fire. He cherishes her. I am the shield. And the stepping stone. Leave it there. Go back and tell your master. I will not attend the flower viewing banquet.
Yan Mingshu, what sort of tantrum is this? Can you not get along with Wanner for once? Are you ill?
No. Lin Shaobai. My father departs for Meizhou today. I must see him off.
Today? This is Wanner's first time attending a banquet. She is timid. I must accompany her. Your father can wait a little longer. Once the banquet ends, I will go with you. With your father away, I shall be the one you rely on. Your future, your honor and disgrace, all rest on me. Fear not.
No need.
My lord, Miss Wan is waiting.
Go on. She is still waiting for you.
Yes. Once things are settled with Wanner, I will hurry to the dock. Wait for me.
Madam, where to?
Leave. Uncle Ming, to the dock. I'm not leaving the city.
No wonder. With a name meaning white, no surprise he is an ungrateful wretch. The old Hanlon scholar copied books his whole life. How did Lin Shaobai climb out in just 3 years? If not for my secret help. Our Mingshu is such a fine girl. How could anyone bully her? That little beast.
Father.
Father, I regret it so much. I never should have given her that couplet.
Father. Mingshu has no regrets. Marrying the wrong man is not our fault. The man was simply wrong. Whether in this life or after parting, I remain the treasured pearl of the Yan family. I am still worthy of love.
I heard this place is thick with miasma, crawling with snakes, insects, rats, and ants.
The education officer has arrived. The education officer is here. Try some, quickly, freshly picked, very sweet.
Cough, cough, cough. Ha ha ha.
Truly sweet.
As expected from the capital. Your skills are superb. Ha ha ha. Mingshu dear, why don't we see your husband? You came alone with your parents.
After my family fell into ruin, my former husband despised poverty and loved wealth. He drove me from our home, with nowhere else to go. I had no choice but to return and lean on my parents. No, to return to my father and mother's side.
Ayo, what a sin. Men, not a single one is any good.
Mingshu, dear, it has been 2 years since you came to Meizhou. You're already 21.
What is it, father?
I'm afraid I'll be stuck in Meizhou for the rest of my life. What will become of you when your mother and I are gone?
Father.
Miss, I didn't mean to be improper. I only reached out because you were about to fall. I wanted to help. I'm a student from the county academy. I came to ask the master to review my poems.
He is in the study.
Miss, my surname is Chen Chundi.
Chundi. Sounds like a cowherd's name. Only 18. Still just a boy.
These flowers prefer the shade.
Amazing. Are you some kind of flower deity?
No, not at all. Just call me Chundi. Or Xiao Chun works too.
All right, Xiao Chun.
Mingshu.
That young man is honest.
A good match for marriage.
Xiao Chun. What is the matter with you?
Mingshu. That scholar Li. He is so dull and awkward. He is not worthy of you. Mingshu. I want to marry you. I know I'm still young, and I hold no scholarly rank, but I'm strong. I can grow flowers. I will treat you well. I would even marry into your family.
I would even marry into your family. In the capital, even peddlers and laborers refuse to marry into a wife's family. After all, he is a scholar. Xiao Chun. Perhaps you don't know, but I have been divorced before. I know what marriage is like. Meeting potential suitors isn't because I'm eager to marry, but only to put my parents' minds at ease.
So, you won't marry that scholar Li?
Yes.
Then, can I still come help you with the flowers in the future?
It is truly difficult. Having refused a man, one should not give him hope. But his skill with flowers is so good. Xiao Chun. One day you will marry. Your wife won't like you always tending flowers for someone else.
Not necessarily. Maybe my future wife will happen to enjoy growing flowers too. That Zhang Zhuren is no good. I've heard he frequents the pleasure quarters, and the essays he writes are utter nonsense.
Chech, how would you know his writing is nonsense?
I can tell at a single glance. A man like that with barely a drop of ink in his belly yet so eager to show off is not worthy of you.
I didn't say yes, nor did I say no. Our lives went on exactly as before, except for one more thing in our hearts.
Disaster? Juzi has set a fire. Cheating in the imperial exams. Somebody bought the questions. Impersonating a jinshi. Heaven will not tolerate this.
Investigate. I want a thorough investigation. This case has widespread implications.
Regardless of rank, all will be severely punished. The imperial edict has arrived. Yan Zhaoyu received the imperial edict. It has been determined that Lord Yan was falsely accused back then. Now the injustice has been cleared. He is reinstated to his former post. Return to the capital immediately.
Boundless imperial grace. Truly boundless imperial grace.
Father's name has been cleared. We're going back to the capital. Going back means leaving Meizhou. Leaving everything here behind.
This gladiolus is hardy. You can take it to the capital and keep it alive. That one prefers warmth and humidity. Let's leave it here. I'll look after it for you. Just like now.
Xiaochun. Aren't you going to ask if I'm willing to stay?
Ah, no need. You were never from Meizhou to begin with. You only came because of the master. Now that the master has been exonerated, of course you have to go back. However, can you wait 3 years for me? The metropolitan exams are held every 3 years. I'm not asking you to stay. I'll pass the exams and come find you in the capital.
Mingshu.
I thought he'd put his arm around Wan Niang and mock me for not knowing my place. I never imagined he'd chase me all the way here.
Come with me.
Lord Lin. My father is in the study. Allow me to show you the way. Xiaochun. This is Lord Lin from the capital.
Mingshu. The imperial envoy has already delivered the edict to my father-in-law. This time, I've come for you. 3 years ago, I waited for you all night at the pier, but you left without a word. Later, I found out. You tricked me into signing the divorce papers. The divorce was never my wish.
Lin Shaobai. Saying all this, don't you find it laughable yourself?
It was because of Wan Niang. You knew perfectly well that I lost both my parents as a child and was raised by Wan Niang's father. When her father passed away, I had an obligation I couldn't shirk. Just because when my father-in-law was in trouble, I was distracted looking after Wan Niang. You divorced me? What kind of reasoning is that?
You had your reasons. Because Wan Niang is your childhood friend, her father was your benefactor, so everything about her mattered more than me, more than my father.
Mingshu, I only see her as a sister. Mingshu, I only see her as a sister. It is nothing more than a brother's care for his sister.
A sister? So, when my father was falsely accused, you could abandon me to go fetch her. So, when I had nowhere to turn for help, you could tend to her travel sickness, leaving me waiting all night. Just because I married you, I'm naturally beneath her? On what grounds? Lin Shaobai, I don't owe you anything, and I certainly don't owe her.
3 years ago, you blamed me for abandoning my father-in-law. This time, I'll personally clear his name. I'm here because I want to bring you back. We can start over.
Clearing my father's name is your duty as Vice Minister of Justice, not something you're doing for me. If you really can't let it go, just think of me as a sister too, because I will absolutely never marry you again. Xiaochun, come help me dig up flowers tomorrow.
I'm sorry.
Why aren't you saying anything?
Mingshu, do you think I'm completely useless? With someone like Lin Shaobai already in the picture, he is the top scholar, and everyone speaks so highly of you two as a pair. What right did I have to ask you to wait 3 years for me?
Of course not. Someone who likes you would think every part of you is wonderful. Lin Shaobai, you have no right to interfere in my affairs. Before you speak, first consider whether I'd want to hear it.
Is there truly no chance left for us?
Yes.
In the past, you never treated me like this. Stop that. I'm writing an essay.
Really? Then I hope you meet a girl who is truly your match in the future. I should be going now. Excuse me. That is wonderful.
Miss, these are the invitations that arrived today.
Just leave them there, not going. It is too hard. From Meizhou to the capital, the soil and climate are different. You have to check the soil first. If the soil is poor, the flowers won't survive. It is the same with people.
Speaking of which, back then, you were the one who owed me a flower viewing banquet. Ha ha ha.
I heard he searched for you all night at the dock. That girl Wan Niang was making a fuss about getting married, and he said he would have only one wife in this life, Yan Mingshu, and would never marry anyone else. Clearly, you still have a place in his heart. A prodigal son returning is worth more than gold, as they say.
Madam, this orchid's roots are getting suffocated. Water it less, and it might still survive. But if the roots have rotted, even the immortals couldn't save it. Ahahaha. Miss Yan, just let me say a couple of words. I truly don't know what to do anymore. In the capital, besides you, I don't know a single soul. Brother Shaobai refuses to see me. I have nightmares every night, and in my dreams, it is always you. I'm sorry. What I did before was wrong. I was just afraid he'd abandon me. Sister, please teach me. What should I do? If you're asking how to make Lin Shaobai marry you, I don't know. If you're willing to hear something else, go take a look along Chang'an Street. A person's life is very short. No need to tie yourself to one man. Sausages for sale. Ha ha ha.
Madam, I've bought some. That proprietress looks familiar.
Sweet. Sweet.
Father regrets it. If I'd known, I would have cracked his skull open before he left. Too late now.
Father regrets it. What is done, because the right person always arrives at just the right time. Huh. Huh.
I'm here. I'm here. Ha ha ha.
Huh. This time, no need to wait all night, because the right person will always come running.
Still thinking about him? Is he really that wonderful? So you can't live without her?
Yes. I meanly wanted to drag her down from her high perch. I thought if I made her suffer a bit, she would look up to me like Wan Niang. Chi Hua Du. I mistook submission for love. She married that young provincial scholar. He had no desire for an official career. They traveled everywhere together. She is wonderful, but she will never be mine again.
Husband, try this quickly. Huh.
If I could live this life over,